It's like education. It's
Yeah.
like the Norway Pavilion at Epcot with gore. That's exactly
Honestly,
what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. But no projected faces of Anna and Elsa. Because that would be the scariest of things
Just
of all.
turn Anna and Elsa at the end into the big Galkn girly ghouls.
I'm Demi, theme park YouTuber, aka Magical Hijinks.
And I'm entertainment journalist Joey Nolfi, and we've both been diagnosed with terminal theme park obsession, and we're definitely going to spread it to you on the Park Peeps podcast.
We've got years of theme park knowledge, so join us as we serve piping hot takes, park tea, offer the best travel hacks and tips, and chat with guests in the theme park space.
So sit down, buckle in, and pull up on that yellow strap while we dispatch for the Park Peeps podcast.
Welcome to another Park Peeps Live in the Field edition with Demi and Joey at Epic Universe.
Featuring fish milk.
Featuring fish milk, yes. Everybody should check our pages because we did post a story about fish milk. We finally have had the epic, the dish with an epic legacy in our friendship, I guess you could say. Finally at Atlantic here at Epic. We are here together. The fish milk did live up to expectations. The food here is just banging.
It's so good.
It honestly is.
Yeah. If you haven't seen you guys, I did a full detailed dining review over
Yes, you did.
on the YouTube channel of the Atlantic at Epic Universe. Make sure to check that. Especially, and I've covered every single food place in this park. So go check out all my Epic stuff. But
And that's
I had
H-I-J-I-N-X.
H-I-J-I-N-X.
I did it for you this time.
Thank you. And I have had fish milk before, but to be able to have fish milk together finally, what a dream.
A magical experience. But you know what?
We're not here to talk about fish milk.
We are not. We are here. This is our Halloween Horror Nights review episode
Yes.
because also adding to the magic and the lore of the Joey and Demi escapades, we finally got to experience Halloween Horror Nights together.
Yes.
This is just what an incredible event this year. We're going to do a full house ranking, our opinions on all of the houses. But before that, I do have to say, for everybody listening, I was invited on behalf of Entertainment Weekly. I was there for the media night. We do have some great coverage on the EW social channels that you should all go check out. We also did an article looking into the houses, so go to EW.com to check that out. Just making the distinction clear, I was not invited on behalf of Park Peeps, and my opinions from this episode will be coming not from my experience at the media event, but a separate attendance that I did at Halloween Horror Nights. So all of my personal opinions will be coming from that, not media night. With
Wow.
that said,
What a mouthful.
I'm sorry. Yes, we
Yeah.
have to give the disclaimer here.
Well, yes. And before we get into our rankings, this has been a very chaotic weekend because as we talked about in our previous episode, it was also D23 weekend. And I was invited on behalf of Disney Parks and
Yes.
D23s. Thank you.
Snaps for Demi.
Thank you so much, Disney, for having me this weekend. It was incredible. Started out with that Goofy movie screening with the cast, and the Cuscotopia night was incredible. I hope they do that again for other guests. But we did.
We are in a restaurant right now. Mind the noise.
Yeah, we are in Atlantic right now. But it's been a busy week here. We haven't been sleeping, and we want to make sure we still got this episode out to you.
And
So
you know what? I love that I'm listening to you say this as I'm watching
Stardust Racers.
just
Yeah.
like zoom by us.
It's great.
What a magical thing.
Really
And
beautiful.
the skyline of Paris and the Helios. Just what a day.
But we're not really going to get. There really wasn't too many announcements. But the biggest announcement we have to talk about, and we did predict.
We did predict this with Drew.
Yes.
Who I did run into at the Polynesian. So
Oh,
hi,
nice.
Drew, if you're listening. Yes,
I was with
did run into
Drew and also our friend James from God
Yes,
WW.
James. Oh, you saw James?
Yeah. Did you not get any of the pictures I sent you? Anyway,
No,
forget it.
Everybody was yelling at me for not checking my phone this week.
Anyway, the castle, Cinderella's castle, will be repainted to its original colors, white and blue. I told you those chairs were going to be a problem.
Well, you know what? Hopefully they're not picking it up. It's almost like they're doing it on purpose.
No, seriously. But anyway, let's get into our house rankings here at HHN.
Because we got a lot to talk about with HHN. It was I think overall, just briefly, I think this was a really solid year.
It was.
I think and we won't get into ranking scare zones, but I think we should mention them. I loved the Cat Lady was definitely my favorite.
That was unbelievable.
Unbelievable.
There's a
So
show
long.
that happens.
Literally a show. And a mini walkthrough with the
Yeah.
cats that are coming out at you in the hallway. It
But
was really
but
cool.
also there's a story about it, and you can read the story as you're
the
walking
story
through.
is so sick.
And by the way, everybody, I did a full what's new at HHN video. Please go check that out. And I show you the lore of the cat lane, the Crooked Lane as well. But what's so cool about it is that you see the steps of the story as you go into each section on the walkway.
It's it's the way that it's laid out. It's like that long hall. The long stretch of with the little cats and the kids are coming out at you, and then the house at the end. It's such a
incredible.
crescendo. It's a really, really cool thing.
Yeah, and then we had the Mayhem Ball.
We Mayhem Masquerade Ball.
Yes.
I mean, it was the costuming there. It just
beautiful.
it felt more
Seriously.
expansive this year. I think HHN. It felt like, especially with Mel's Die-In.
That was
like,
great.
The 2 shows, which I can confirm, I am now a theme park show fan after doing Hoop-Dee-Doo for the first time, and Nightmare Fuel. I was fully obsessed with the show. I think it's so good, and this event just felt big and deeper, I think, than it did last year.
There's so much happening this year that the entire park is covered in HHN. There's not one spot anymore that does not have something going on involving it. You can
get scared in The Simpsons with a chainsaw.
And yes, that is one of the new things.
While a minion watches.
Yeah, I mean, seriously though, there's really not one spot where you can't be afraid. And so thankfully they brought those Deadly Afraid necklaces out this year. And
yes.
Obviously.
I was going to buy one for my son, but he didn't make it.
Oh.
My little cupcake that met his early
demise.
Yes, I was trying to protect him. Somebody was like, you tried to protect him the whole time only to become his demise.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was a rough one. Anyway, let's get into these house rankings.
Okay, so we're going to rank our houses from 10 to 1. Mm-hmm. And you already know which one Demi and I are going to disagree on, but we'll get to that. I feel like we might have the same number 10, though. So, Demi, what's your number 10?
All right, so here's my thing. Like, I truly have been having such a hard time of, like, deciding which one I want to be 10 and which one I want to be 9.
Okay. Let's hear it.
So, you know what? I think. All right. I'll just decide it right now.
Yeah.
My number 10 is Fallout.
Same.
Okay.
Same. I think that this is consistent with pretty much every single person I have spoken to that has done the Fallout house. For me, it just. I'm halfway through the TV show.
Same. We never finished it.
I haven't finished. I will finish it. I think
not.
It's an interesting dynamic. The TV show, like it's a mix of genres. Not one of them, I think, is necessarily horror. So I don't think it's necessarily a franchise that lends itself well to the horror genre in the first place. And I think the house feels to me more like a recreation of a plot line instead of doing what I think some of these other IP houses do really well at Horror Nights this year, which is taking Universal's signature approach and letting Universal sort of do what Universal does best with an IP and expand on the IP, complement the IP, using these sort of familiar dressings and doing something different and unique with it. And I also think the most interesting element of Fallout is the ghoul character.
Yeah, and he was in it, twice?
Barely in it, and the scenes that he's in it are so hard to see.
It's hard to see him.
It's very dimly lit, and it almost felt like it was like a mistake how dimly lit it was. But I just feel like the end of the house just kind of feels like the Philly set is cool. The Philly set is amazing.
I mean, in general, this is nothing against any designers. The design,
the design
all of these
was
houses
great.
are unbelievable, and that is the best part. It's
Scenery,
just
amazing.
It's just the storytelling of it all, and
right.
like. For me, like, all I cared about was seeing Walton Goggins' ghoul, and it was very little and far between.
Yeah.
And it just really wasn't what we expected to see.
Yeah, no, I think, and again, like, it's not poor execution on, like, anybody who designed this house's fault, but I mean, it is, sometimes when you're working within the constraints of IP, there's certain things you have to, Amazon worked very closely on this house with them, so I mean, recreating the story, if that's the approach, it's a book report approach. I get it.
I was able to make a return in that house too.
Oh, what did you?
To Amazon.
What? Wait, what? Oh, not the comedy going right over my head. I'm sorry,
Whatever.
Demi.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad that we both agree on that. That this is number 10. And,
yes.
And again, design.
Yeah, the
Very
Philly
nice.
set. Oh my God, that Philly set was great. And there's some really good actors in there too, like the one playing Ma June. I loved her so much. She just comes out with her little shotgun. And like...
My other thing, what I felt like was very funny, because I went from Hatchets and Chains to that house, and it was like, why are there two almost like Western themed? There's a lot of Western theming in Fallout because of the ghoul.
Yeah.
And I was like, I feel like I just had a version of this that I went through.
Hatchet and Chains
we'll get into that.
Yeah, we'll get into that one. Yeah. I just think that's HHN has a very strong legacy of, like, incorporating Western themes into some of their houses. Like, I'm thinking Scarecrow, and there was, there's another one I can't remember the name of. It still cracks me up last week when we were like, Dead Winter's Boat.
And it's our favorite one.
Okay, so what's your? I feel like we're definitely not going to have the same.
No, we're not going to have the same number 9.
Should I do mine?
No, I'm going to do mine first, because that way because I
prepare
feel like,
yourself
because
for
I already
mine.
know in my gut what you're going to say, and I'm ready to have this fight with you. And
we are sitting at a table. You could flip it.
Yeah, my number 9 is Five Nights at Freddy's. Okay, I'm sorry. The reason why it's not even 10 and this is my thing, is it's not scary at all. It was like a nice, like, fun house.
Yeah.
It's not a horror house.
Sometimes you need...
It's, no, horror. Here's my deal. And I felt the same way about the animatronics in Quiet Place last year. Animatronics are not scary. They just don't have the same feel to me. I want to be scared. That's what a Horror Nights house is.
But I was impressed by them so much.
Listen, it has nothing to do with the incredible work of the animatronic, or like how, like, I love Jim Henson Company more than anything, you know that. But it's a horror house, and it's not scary at all. At all.
There were some, I got some good jumps there, and I don't think Five Nights at Freddy's as a property itself is necessarily also that scary. Like, I don't think the games are that scary. I definitely did not like the movie. But I do think I was so impressed by the scale and the what they were able to do technologically with this house. I mean, those hands that are coming out of the... Spoilers, those hands that are sort of coming out of the walls.
Yeah,
and the
guys,
way
there may be some loose spoilers in here, so just listen at your discretion.
But there's one scene, and this is a spoiler, but there was one scene where they incorporated a scare actor, an aggressor as they call them, who was a physical person being attacked by one of the animatronics.
That was the best part.
So cool.
That was the best part, but that's all. That's it.
I don't know. I think that I was just... That first room that you walk in that everybody has been posting online of when you see Freddy Fazbear in the pizza place and he's on stage like a full Chuck E. Cheese performance.
Yeah, okay.
It was so cool. And
it was cool to see, but it's not scary.
It was not... No, I fully don't think it was scary, but it was impressive.
No, they should have put that in Louis and made that the Five Nights at Freddy's experience.
Maybe. But
that didn't happen.
But I do think that this is a good example. It shows the breadth of what HHN can be, and they're excelling at it. It's not bad. It's visually and technologically impressive, and it adds a diversity to the event that I think it does need sometimes, because if you're just beaten over the head relentlessly with horror, and you don't have these sort of, and spoiler but Dolls I think is going to rank pretty high on both of our lists, I think you need that sort of diversity of styles and
that's
tones.
Fine. You're allowed to have diversity, and I'm all about, like, I love the idea of this. But the fact is that they could have incorporated more, like, scares throughout this thing.
Yeah.
Because to me, all I did was see some animatronics go, like, lights go on and off in their eyes, and that's not scary. I mean, it just isn't.
I'm
glad you loved it. I found it to be incredibly, like, I thought it was cute in the sense of, like, I love animatronics and the idea of Five Nights at Freddy characters like that. But if we're talking Halloween Horror Nights, it's not horror.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I guess that's the same way that I feel about Fallout.
It's like a fun house. It's a fun house. It's not a horror house.
But I don't know. I think that I just am so, I'm a big nerd when it comes to, like, theme park technology, and I just think anything that is pushing that technology forward is good in my book. So
all right, let's move on from Freddy's.
That one does rank higher on my list, but so I'll go. My number 9.
Let's start the fight.
My number 9 is WWE: The Horrors of the Wyatt Sicks. And Demi is so disgusted with me right now.
I've been through that house 3 times at this point. I've cried every single time. It is a perfect house. Yeah. It's a perfect house. And the fact that you hate it is just like, you're just wrong.
I don't hate it. No, I don't hate it. I think that the only house that I dislike is Fallout. Okay. I disliked Fallout. WWE, I did not dislike the house.
Yeah.
I think I've been teasing you. When I'm saying, like, oh, it's bad, like, I'm fully teasing you. I don't think it's a bad house. I think my issue is, like Aretha Franklin said that one time, gorgeous gowns, like, beautiful gowns. I think that it's the style, I think the sets, I think the costumes and the character design, it's really cool. And when you walk through it, there's definitely some really good scares, some well-timed scares, some that come at you from both sides. It got me a couple times. But I think gelled together as a story, and this is my thing, I understand that fan bases are a thing, and Universal is catering to certain fan bases that...
Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of people that love the Fallout house.
Right, simply because they love the
Fallout,
IP.
Yeah.
But as somebody whose only familiarity with WWE comes from me watching Demi's explainer video on the Wyatt Sicks and, like, not really having too much of an idea of what goes into this, I do think that you have to approach IPs like that, because we have to admit, We are dealing with live conditions here. We took a step out of the Atlantic because it was giving us some sound terrorism. However,
if I hear one more moving chair, I will kill myself. Anyway.
Well, okay, so what I was saying with WWE is, I think even though there is a built-in fan base for this, I do think when you are translating it for an event like HHN, where there are going to be masses of people that are coming, you have to be able to bridge that gap between people who might not have a strong familiarity that sticks in their brain, even though I watched Demi's documentary, or Demi's, there is a Bray Wyatt documentary, but Demi's video.
My goal was to make just a quick 10-minute recap, just so you had a basic idea and understanding, so you had something. If you want more detail, and I highly recommend it, go watch the Bray Wyatt documentary on Peacock.
But I still think that the connection of narrative in this house was not strong enough for me. I had no idea what was going on. There were little intricacies that I learned afterward, like what the pig sort of scene represented, and that was a really powerful thing when I learned out what things like that represented. But I think in this context, going through these things at the pace that you're going through them at very quickly, the story is just not there, and it was kind of like a bunch of beautiful, well-made, very well-designed, really cool scares too. Character design was amazing. But I just kind of was like, I'm not following the story whatsoever, and I wish I cared more about the story and that's where it falters for me. And I don't think, and again, just because it's at number 9 on my list, I don't think it's a bad house by any means. I just wish I could connect with the story a little bit.
And I totally can understand that, because that's the fault of there's also, which I don't think you watched though, there's a pre-show when you're waiting online.
Oh.
Yeah, Joey. Yeah. I think because you had Express on the night that you went on your own.
Yeah.
You walked right through the pre-show.
Oh, yeah. Wait, the Express didn't go through that.
Well, you go through it pretty quickly, because the main line, you wait in this separate studio building.
See a pre-show.
And when you go through Express, you kind of, the line kind of, there's no, unless it's a backed up Express line.
And you know me when I'm getting really I'm walking right into the thing. I'm like, I want to do the thing.
You probably didn't even notice the giant screen doing a whole video. And there is one part of that video that is being played around the entire event. But there's more in that video. So because you didn't pay attention and you had Express because you were trying to do all the houses again on your own, you didn't get it.
Yeah.
So please watch the pre-show, even if you have Express. Stand in the first building before because there's a building, and then you leave the building to go into the other building for the actual house. Watch the thing, listen to what he's saying. It will help you a little bit. Watch my video if you want even more detail and to feel the emotion of this house, because it really is.
It means a lot to Demi.
It means a lot to a lot of people, because the thing is, this was from the mind of William Rotunda, aka Bray Wyatt, who is no longer with us to see this, and this was his dream.
I like the tribute to him at the end.
There's tributes throughout the entire house to him. But the fact is he did this on his own while he was with WWE, but he paid for everything. He fed everybody. He was everyone loved this man, and he was so creative. He changed the way wrestling is done. And when I mean wrestling, I don't mean a wrestling move. Wrestling is storytelling. This was the most immersive storytelling, that has ever happened. And
I can appreciate that.
And because of that, it's a beautiful thing that happened in this house, and it's very emotional. And also, when you are looking at the masks of the Wyatt Sicks, and it literally feels like I am actually with the real Wyatt Sicks. There's a bunch of different Uncle Howdys, and it all feels like Taylor, aka Bo Dallas, aka Uncle Howdy. It feels like I'm looking at him each time, because the masks are perfect, and I believe Jason Baker, who worked on the original Fiend mask, did all the masks in this. I'm not entirely sure of all of them. I'm pretty sure. And it's really well done. Obviously, if you're a wrestling fan, you're gonna like it more. My favorite part of that house is looking at all the details. They have the roster of the. I don't want to. I'm gonna say this one thing. There's the when the Wyatts first appeared, and I show you in my video, it was like going through a Halloween Horror Nights house, and I said that immediately.
Yeah.
And you basically are in that recreation at an episode of SmackDown. Mm-hmm. And so that was an episode. So you see the roster of that night, and other things, and little notes about it's really fun to look at all those things. I think they really did such an incredible job. They also didn't overuse the fiend part of it all to like, we don't, you know, they used him sparingly, and it's, you know, to really just make it more of like a tribute to Bray as well.
Listen, and I trust that this is like, as somebody that I know that really cares about this, the way that you respond to it makes me trust that they did a wonderful job with it. So I have like, and I just again want to stress that I'm not saying this is a bad house, because I see what it, clearly somebody who is invested in this knows and is saying this is a good tribute to the legacy of Bray Wyatt.
But I can I
trust you.
I could totally see this not resonating with people and seeing this as, and I mean, truthfully, you could look at this as, this is just a tribute house to this man, and people don't care if they don't know them, and I get that. But if you are a fan of WWE, even if you didn't really love Bray Wyatt, if you are a fan of WWE, like you're gonna think this is very fun, you know.
Well, I mean, hey, two differing opinions from two different spectrums of this, but
yeah.
So let's move on to number 8.
Number 8.
My number 8 is Jason Universe.
Oh no.
And I have very quick thoughts on this one, just because again, it's not an IP I'm super well connected to, but I mean, obviously I know he's one of the most iconic serial killers of all time in movies. Yes, that gets me. That going through the house, the sound design in this house was really, really great. However, I do think that the intensity of it toward the end, while it is a strength, like, I mean, spoiler, you do walk through a giant Jason mask, and there is very claustrophobic hallways where Jason is literally coming at you from so many different angles, and it's a bunch of different Jasons all throughout the years.
And there's so much fog, so you can't see what's happening.
Very difficult to see. It is unsettling. However, I will say, it's disturbed.
I loved it.
But when you do, my issue is that when you do that, Insidious, there was a good balance of that last year, where it was happening, but it wasn't happening all at once.
Right.
Like, you would get it here and there, peppered throughout the house. When it's happening moment after moment after moment after moment, it kind of loses the appeal to me, because it's like you're hitting the repetition too much, and it almost becomes too. You come to expect it, and when it's scares that are designed like that, you don't want to expect them. They still make you jump, just physically, like as a human. You have that innate instinct to respond to it, but I do think it was overplayed just a little bit, and the rest of the house, I do think it just kind of felt like Jason was just popping out at you, and there was no real, like, I mean, it's just like a mishmash of Jasons. Well, it was effective, but, I mean, again, not a bad house. Fallout is the only house I disliked this year. I think this is a good house still, but just kind of lost it was too much of one thing, I think.
You know what's so funny? It's like, I totally agree with you. Like, the beginnings of the house, like, it's fine. Like, it feels almost just like a campy, not campy, that's the wrong word. It feels like a generic Jason coming at you house. To me, what made me love it was that ending, where I cannot wait to go back and it's because it happens, and then you kind of have a small pause, but it's happening again, and then it happens again. It's intense, and that last intenseness was lasting to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's when I'm trying to think of, like, when I think of the houses, like, what made an impact, that made a huge impact. And that's why, for me, you'll see it's pretty higher on my list. And I can't wait to go through that. I'm excited to go through that ending again.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to do that one again. But I did it the one time, because I pretty much did every house again at least once on my second day there, but I didn't get to do it a second time, and both run-throughs I was just kind of like...
Well, technically a third time.
Well, yes, I'm mixing up my timings here.
Yeah.
But, okay, so what's your 8?
My number 8 was Dolls.
Okay.
And here's why. First of all, I love the look of it. Like, when you walk in,
it's
you really...
such a gorgeous house.
You feel like you are the size of a doll, and everything is very... Design of the house is, like, in that sense, is cool. The baby powder smell. I literally walked in and I was like, does anybody else smell baby powder?
Yes, it was literally baby powder. It's so good.
And I think there's a lot of great designs of the doll masks and other character.
Flawless. So good.
My issue was, I felt like, I don't know if maybe it was the round I went through, there was not many scare actors, and when there were scare actors, I saw them, like, they're just standing there, and they're just, like, waiting to say they're waiting for their music to hit to do their little jump line thing. I'm like, I literally at one point just stopped and waited for one to, like, I'm literally, like, I'm standing right in front of Joey right now. It would be like me just staring at you, waiting to go. Yeah, exactly.
Demi jumped.
Yeah. So unfortunately, I walked out of there and I was like, didn't like that one.
I love dolls. I thought it was so, and I think it was just stupid in the best way, and I think it's intentionally stupid because they're saying like really campy, funny lines. It's the story of this house, essentially. I like
that part of it.
Yeah, it's funny. Like the story is essentially there's a little girl who tortures her dolls, and the dolls are like revolting back against her and sort of staging a coup for what she has done to them. And essentially, you walk through this house and you see the character designs are these different like deformed versions of these toys after this girl has tortured them, and there's like one that comes out and is like, she ruined my face, and then there's like a teddy bear with like toothpicks
like
stuck
Sid.
to it. It is like Sid
Toy
almost,
Story, yeah.
But it's so funny, and I found myself laughing out loud like the very first jump scare. As soon as you walk into this house, I belly laughed at it. It's just like, it's so ridiculous. It's so absurd. Yeah. It is the camp fun house of the year, and I really liked it. I think it's the camp house.
No.
Well, okay, Terrifier is definitely camp as well, but I mean, of the originals, it's definitely like the one that they went into being like, this is the silly, everything is silly camp fun house. But it's very rare that camp fun house is also so gorgeous. Like, I mean, there are some really innovative set designs in there and character designs. I think it was lovely.
Yes. What was your number 7?
Well, my number 7 was Hatchet and Chains.
And so was mine.
Oh, look at us.
And that was the first non-IP house I went through.
Yeah, same.
And I loved it. Like, for me, the fact that it's that low, it's just because there's so many more, like, it's a great house. The other houses just had more, like, things happening, I think.
Oh, I agree.
But I really loved the concept. I think it's a fun one where demon bounty hunters, the costuming.
Red Hot Lava Demons.
The costuming was really fun. It was, like, Old West vibes. Mm-hmm. I just had, like, a fun time with it. Like, it was a really well themed.
Oh, it's beautiful. It's beautifully, the lighting in
lighting
this
is
house
amazing.
Is so good. Might be some of the best lighting. There's actually one house that I think I like the lighting design better, and we'll get to that in a minute. But I think this one, it's cut from the same cloth of many like artistry driven houses of HHN history that are set in this sort of gritty Western grime sort of thing. I loved the scare actor outside, like that older lady who was sort of beckoning you in with the knife. I really loved that. But I think that my one issue is, there are actually two issues. I think that like generic demons are not necessarily like
memorable,
the most innovative or memorable things, but there were still some really effective scares, and I like the lights that are actually on some of them that make them look really cool. But I also think, especially since this one was inspired by the Slaughter Cinema poster for Hatchet and Chain Demon Bounty Hunters that was in the Slaughter Cinema 2 house last year, I think it suffered from not leaning into as much camp as Slaughter Cinema leaned into. This one they played it pretty straightforward, but I think that of eye lines and where this house is directing your attention, that is where the genius of this house comes in, because from the moment you step in, you're directed up, you're directed down, you're directed at odd angles.
There's a lot of angles.
There's a lot of angular things going on here. Like, you're looking up and to the side, and there's puppetry and horses and demons like being pulled through down low like fireplaces, and it's just there's a lot of really interesting mixes of where they are, and it doesn't feel like cheap distraction when they're doing it, and it's all dressed up in this really really well crafted, researched Western vibe, and it's just a beautiful house.
I forgot to tell you, the very first thing when you walk in, they've incorporated a lot of like projection or like
the projection stuff was
so
really cool.
I was so focused on my left side looking at this like projected thing.
You're talking about with the lamp? There's like a little lantern.
I don't remember. It was just one of the first things, and then apparently there was a scare actor like right behind me with a knife waiting for me to like realize that he's there, like paying attention, because I was so mesmerized by what was happening on the projection, and I was like, oh hey, and he just like, and the scare actors usually like they do their thing because it's all timed on the audio, and he literally just waited like with his knives pointing down at me.
You know what we have to say? These scare actors
so
in these things, it's just like hats off to them. They are doing such amazing work. It is such a skill and an acting talent that doesn't get the credit it deserves. The scare actors, A+, like snaps for you.
I was going to say snaps for you.
Yes. So 7, we had our same 7. My number 6 was dolls. So we already talked about dolls.
Yep.
What was your number 6?
Mine was, which was so funny because I had it as number 10 on my hype list, was Grave of Flesh.
Oh, Yes.
I know you really love this.
Yes.
So I'll just say this. It's definitely, I thought it was going to be a very generic, like, oh, graves, whatever.
Dirt smell.
Anything that, like, anybody could have done this house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But oh my God, the design is so great, you guys.
It's my favorite design.
The catacomb looks, there's this, there's all this rock work, and then there's statues built into the rock
look
work.
like human bodies that have been like decaying.
There's amazing things happening.
It's like the
there.
Catacombs in Paris. Almost.
Yes, for sure.
But with flesh on them.
And the costumes of the actual graves of flesh. I mean, very incredibly impressive.
Yes.
There's just a lot of really wonderful effects in there, and I was really happy that it was more than just like insert generic house here.
I initially had this one at number 5, and then I did it a second time, and it shot up to number 3 for me.
Ooh.
Because this house is getting a lot of hate. I do not understand why.
Really?
People are saying that it's the worst house, and I'm like, are you crazy? This is the
excuse me.
This house, but I think this house hit me on it did what no other house this year did for me, is that it really hit me in terms of thematics and story. It hit me on a deeper level to the point where I was genuine, like it was simmering in my mind, and it sat with me for like a very, very long time after I did it.
Yeah.
And it's still sitting with me today. Like, I mean, I had multiple run-throughs yesterday, and it just like still sitting with me. I think the story immediately you go in through this giant sort of mausoleum facade, and you enter under a dug out grave. You're looking up at a gravestone. Like it has been dug out. There's roots and water trickling down. And it's like the story is you're experiencing what happens to your body in many different ways, spiritually, fantastically, physically, after your death. And I love that it takes all of these anxieties that we have about death and about the uncertainty of nobody has any idea what happens after your mortality expires on this earth. And it really probes what can happen to you physically. There are some really interesting set pieces here with like bones grinding and the body decaying, which is a big anxiety and a fear of mine, like just death in general. But then it also incorporates a lot of these, like, there's even like extraterrestrial elements and like little mole people that are coming out. And it just is like, and the house keeps getting more and more tight. The hallways keep getting tighter and tighter and tighter as you're going down through it.
Yeah.
Until
not like insanely tight where you feel claustrophobic. I just want to
you'll
be
be
clear.
fine in terms of claustrophobia. But like, I just think that the design complements the narrative so well, and it really scratches that itch of like making you think like about these really detaching the physical body from the soul is a really interesting thing to explore. And it resonated with me so well, and I just think it's such a disturbed house, and it is one of my all-time favorite Halloween Horror Nights houses that I have done. So that is at my number 3. So
we skipped. We were at number 6.
Well, yes, but I mean, I just wanted to say because you had already
that's
referenced it, I wanted to say what we brought it up to.
Yeah.
So what was your number 5?
What was your number 6?
Oh, my number 6 was Dolls. That's what I said.
No, what was your number? Great. So my number 5 was Terrifier.
Oh, that was my number 4.
Okay, so here's my thing. And if you've been following us, you know we love Baby Girl.
We've called him Baby Girl.
Art is Baby Girl. And listen, here's how I feel about Terrifier in general. Like, I don't love
Terrifier also Baby Girl.
I don't love the movies because it's just like gory for gore's sake.
It's a lot.
But I love Art the Clown because he's just adorable and very memey. And
so
specifically, I think
in
movie 2, it's the funniest one.
Yeah.
Movie 3 is also pretty funny. Movie 1 is the least funny. It's actually my least favorite one.
Disturbed.
And so when they lean into the meme part, that's why it's fun and funny. And that's why, and Art is he is the star of this year for Halloween Horror Nights. He's roaming around New York and by the Clown Cafe.
And we may or may
love
not
him.
have gotten to call him Baby Girl to his
yeah.
face. Yes.
If you watch my HHN video too, I also that's the first thing you see. But anyway, the house that I was expecting was not what I walked through.
Not what we got.
The hype for this house of like, it is the most gory, disturbing, putrid house with.
It is kind of. In some ways.
I mean, here's what happened. Like, yeah, maybe there is like some pretty gross things.
Chainsaw
but the fact is, it has
the tone of it makes it not as disturbing.
But the tone is the movie. So because what they kept saying was not what the movie really is. yeah, Art's doing all the same things that you saw in the movie, but how does he do it? Why do we love that? Because he's funny about it and adorable. And so you're not really scared because you're just like, oh, it's Art doing his thing. Like, good job, bud, on the murder, you know? And the best part, this is a spoiler, but the Clown Cafe song starts playing, and we're all singing and dancing, and then Art's literally singing and dancing with us. And it is, and because of that, I want to go back in this house over and over and over again. Mm-hmm. But here's why.
There's a lot of repeatability.
Here's why, yes, a lot of repeatability. Like, I genuinely I was going to put this higher, but because I just really love some of the other aspects of some of the houses that I'm going to list higher, I had to put it lower because the thing is, anybody that tells you get soaking wet on this attraction, they're doing it on purpose, and you don't. No. And also, I did both paths. First I did the wet, and then I did the dry. I don't know. It's supposed to be the bloodbath, and I told you this, and we already know there's no dye. It's just water.
It's just water.
But like, I don't see any effect at all that it could even look like blood. It just looks like
there was no red light.
There's no red light. I didn't, and you can't, because the water it's like raining
it's like
down.
Pipes almost.
It's like raining down on you. You can't like see what's really happening on the sides of the walls. So when I went on the dry path, I believe it's the same design, just without the water, and it has like red splatter on the walls, and that's like it. And so I was like, why did I just get wet?
Well, I definitely did not get as wet as some people were getting on the first night. But I mean, I likened it to like the Dilophosaurus when they spit on you in the Jurassic Park boat ride. That times like 6 maybe. But you can kind of see it coming, so you can kind of avoid it. But the lights are kind of flashing. When Quincy and I ran through on media, so this is not a reaction or a review from Media Night. However, I'm just referencing something that happened on Media Night. Quincy and I did run through, and there was a very funny video on Instagram of that. But I think they hyped that up a little bit, but I love that big set piece that you get right before you make the choices of Art being up there, sort of dictating.
And you know what? That's exactly how I pictured it would happen too.
Yeah, it's cute.
And I just love him though. Like, that's the thing. I love him so much, and it's so fun. Like, it's, to me, like this. I know you said Dolls is the meme house. The award, there's always a meme house. The award for meme house for me this year is Terrifier.
I think there's a difference between, like, when I say camp house of the year, I mean Dolls. They definitely went into it being like,
I would say Dolls is camp house.
Camp house.
This is meme house.
Yeah, this could be a meme house for sure.
Yeah.
But I think this also does really well. What I think the issue with Fallout for me is that this is an example of what Universal can do with an IP and expand upon it while also hitting those familiar beats.
Right.
There's new kills from Art in here. It is something that, yes, you're taking things from the films and putting them in this house, but you're recontextualizing them. You're putting them in new scenes in a bigger story that you're trying to tell. There are different kills. There's new sets.
Yeah.
Art is doing things in really interesting, unique ways. You're expanding upon the IP instead of just doing a book report of, hey, this is a movie that you know, and you're going to like this house just because you know the movie. No, they're doing something completely different with it. I loved it.
Yeah.
That is at my number 4. And my number 3
5?
Was Grave of Flesh. So
what
we
was
already talked
5?
about that. My 5 was Five Nights at Freddy's. So we already talked about that.
We already talked about that.
So we're at
my number 4.
What is your number 4?
Is El Artista. Spanish Haunting.
Oh, a surprise!
And the award for the most beautiful house of the year goes to El Artista.
Stunning. Like, I had full body chills going through this.
I went with my husband, and he said, this is exactly how you would have our house if you got your way all the time. And I said, you mean I'm not going to get my way all the time? What do you mean,
This is what we're doing next year. This is the renovation
This is
project.
the renovation. It is, honestly, okay, when you went through, and your many times of going through,
yes,
this might be a spoiler. This is a spoiler. Was there a flying person?
Yes.
Because, okay, when I walked through this one part, I saw somebody trying to be hooked up to a zip line, but they never went across, and the sight line was bad on that. You see them being hooked up into it.
If you see I have a video of it that I posted. So if you go to my Instagram, you will see the video that I posted of it. Yes. And I will say when I went through with, shout out to Stephanie and Lindsay, because I went through with Stephanie and Lindsay last night.
I just sat in water.
Oh no.
Gross.
Stephanie just sat in water. Oh no, the Terrifier house, the wet path that gets you 2 days later.
Anyway.
But yes, there is a really cool effect with a gargoyle that's flying over, and it gagged me so bad that I was trying to, it totally made me lose my sense of direction in the house because I was up there looking at it. It was just so cool. And the design of this, it's like the space, the use of space, and the use of the misdirects taking your attention to one place while they hit you with something on the other side. That stilt actor, the very first scare.
So good. That's still so good. I missed the scare, but then I looked behind and I saw him. I was like,
it's like literally looks like he's walking through the wall.
My biggest issue with Halloween Horror Nights in general is the fact that like it's a train of people.
And that is a big
There's
problem.
been so many times that I've gone
the scares.
That we missed the scares, especially this year. And if you don't get it, like it really affects your opinion on the house too.
Yeah. No, I agree. I was thinking that. Yeah. But I will say El Artista, like the story is disturbed. It's a short house. It's a very short house.
Yeah.
But I do think that...
And it also goes into the origins of horror scare zone.
Yes. It's so expansive. And I really like that it feels like that house is sort of taking over a lot of the park. But there's just so much going on in here where I think the innovation of the space, and you can see parts of the house through windows with Pepper's ghost effects that like you're gonna get to later, so it like makes the whole thing feel alive.
Why did it just start becoming like
the music,
a show?
It's a concert show that is going on here, but you know what? We're gonna power through it because we've only got a few more minutes.
Yeah, a few more minutes.
With us this long. Sorry for the audio. This is not. We're at a live theme park. But I just think that this was spoiler. This is my number one. This is my number one of the year. I think that it's just.
I'm surprised it's your number one,
considering I'm a Galkn girly.
We'll get to it.
But this house had my jaw on the floor throughout the entire, like the things that you see in here, the Pepper's ghost effects, the mirror effects. Character design, everything is firing on all cylinders with this, and I think that it's a prime example of what Universal can do in terms of theming, story, presentation, use of space, and diversity of scare actors and how they're used.
Yeah, I think I need to go through it again because I think I had a bad scare like timing, and I think that's why it was lower on the list for me.
Yeah,
and that's why my number 3 was Jason, because that I said before, like that lasting thing, it was such an effect that it boosted. I did not expect Jason to be my number 3. He actually on my hype list he was number 5. So
the Demi hype list.
Yeah, I'm looking at my hype list and comparing it to what I originally had, and so my 10 hype list was Grave, then Fallout. 9 was Dolls, Freddy's. 8 was Fallout, then Dolls. El Artista was 7, and then Hatch and Chains was 7. 6 was Freddy's. 6 was Raised Flesh for me. 5 was Jason for me, but it was Terrifier. Hatchet's was 3. El Artista was 4 rather, and then my number 3 was Galkn. My number 3 is now Jason, but my number 2 was originally Terrifier, and my number 2 house in my official ranking is Galkn.
Okay, well, yeah.
And is that yours?
Yes, because Grave of Flesh is number 3. We have the same number 2.
Yay,
we just high-fived.
The way that if the Wyatt house was not there, everybody, this would be my number 1. So it's almost basically my number 1.
Debbie's number 1.
Basically, it is one of the most beautiful and well-themed, and the effects in there and some of the props that you see are
some of the most stunning I've ever seen at an HHN.
I was going like, wow, the entire time.
Like Stacy, wham.
It really the costuming, the design, all very it's like the Northman and also E.T.
Yes.
You guys.
Oh yeah, the pine smell. There's a pine smell going on.
There is a moment where you smell the ETQ, and I was like, this is amazing.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Give your thoughts.
I love I'm a sucker for a folklore house.
Me too.
So anything that's but from the moment you step into this house, there is like smoke going on, and then the Blair Witch looking stick thing with that like rotating pyre with
was amazing.
Oh my gosh! And then you just go through the woods, and there's wolves and like Nordic demons on stilts and skulls, and but the thing that really I did this house so many my jaw was on the floor. The aesthetic of this house, from the sound to the visuals to the smell. I mean, the soundtrack going through it is so good. It's just like these Nordic strings and this like folky vibe while you're watching these incredibly disturbed, confrontationally graphic things going on. And then the conclusion, the finale. Oh my God. hands down for me, my favorite finale of any house this year, the giant demon thing that you walk through, the glowing eyes,
it's
the noises
unbelievable.
it's making, and there's like skull parasites in the stomach as you're going through. It's just jaw-dropping.
I can't wait to go back in there. Yeah, the big
fire thing
fire
that's going on that you can kind of see throughout the whole house. It's just, this house catches your attention right from the very beginning. It lulls you into thinking like, okay, like, you know, it's somewhat comforting to know there's like these like warm strings happening and you're in like a woodsy setting, and then it just, the contrast of that with the disturbed things that you're seeing. There's some really graphic kills in here, some really graphic things going on. It is just, it's like education. It's like the Norway Pavilion at Epcot with gore. That's exactly
honestly,
what
yeah.
it is.
Yeah. But no projected faces of Anna and Elsa. Because that would be the scariest of things of all.
Turn Anna and Elsa at the end into the big Galkn girly ghouls.
You guys,
like
we're at Epic and I rode Ministry today, and Umbridge's projected face like glitched out, like when you, if like you were talking to a human being, and then all of a sudden you realize that they're like a cyborg.
Yeah.
But
hilarious.
It was. I love this house. I can't wait to go back in there again. I've never left a house so impressed. I mean, that's not true. I think the last time I felt this impressed was Winter's Wake, Dead Man's Pier.
Winter's Boat.
Dead Man's Pier, Winter's Wake. That truly, it was amazing. And if the love that I have for Wyatt Sicks was not there, then that would be my number one for sure.
No. Well, I think we did it. We got through the whole thing. So let's just quickly go through my number 10, Fallout, 9, WWE, 8, Jason Universe, 7, Hatchet and Chains, 6, Dolls, 5, Five Nights at Freddy's, 4, Terrifier, 3, Grave of Flesh, 2, Galkn, and number 1, Artista.
And mine was Fallout, Freddy, Dolls, Hatchet, Grave, Terrifier, Artista, Jason, Galkn, Wyatt Sicks, forever.
I could just say Galkn like all day. Good God, get a Galkn girl. Good God, get a Galkn girl. Well, we did it. We're at Epic Universe too. We did it. Yeah. Sorry for the concert. Sorry for the screeching chairs. The flies are literally have been landing on us for the past 10 minutes as we sit out here, but we escaped the rain.
We did it.
We escaped the rain. We did it. What a lovely day to spend with my ultimate Park Peep Demi here at one of our favorite places in the world.
Seriously.
So we did it. And cheers to a great HHN. I think that this is a really great year, and got 3 more months to deal with it.
Yeah, so. Stay tuned to my YouTube channel. There's going to be more HHN obviously on there, and obviously so many other things. So why aren't you subscribed if you're already not? Come on.
I mean, really.
And make sure to follow me on all social media and YouTube. That's at Magical Hijinks everywhere. That's HIJINX.
And make sure to follow me at Joey Nolfi, and also follow at Park Peeps Pod. And again, please go to Demi's wiping a fly off of my face. Please subscribe to our Substack. Send your email to our Substack so that you can get extra tea. Like there was a little tease that went out for this episode before this one aired. So if you sign up for our Substack, you will get even more tea that you might not hear in the pod. There was a fly that just literally landed on my nose. But yeah, until next week, see y'all later. We're going to go hang out with Dracula and his feet.
Yep, see you in the fog. Bye.